Hello, awesome people. I hope you're having a great day today. Today we're taking a look at the next short story in the Pawn of Chaos collection for you folks. It has a long name. It's called The Last Short Story Writer at the End of Time. It's written by Brad, and I'm probably going to slaughter his last name, but it's Linweaver, I think, and so forth. He's actually been published a little bit here and there, and has been a finalist for a Nebula Award as of 1996 when he was writing this short story for this collection for you folks. It's 17 pages long. I read it last night, about 40 minutes roughly for folks, and for the first time. As a reminder, this collection was published in 1996, and I picked it up then because at the time my favorite author was Michael Moorcock in college. So I picked it up contemporaneously as soon as it was published, but I never actually read it because, again, nothing in there except for the first short story. To kick off, is written by Michael Moorcock in this epic Eternal Champion collection for you folks, right? So that's basically the cores of what's happening and so forth. So I figured while I was going back and doing a deep dive into the Eternal Champion mythos and many of Moorcock's famous works recently, that this would be a nice way to finish things off and knock out, some stuff that I've never read by him. I thought that would be fun, right? And so that's sort of what we're doing. I only have a couple more short stories after this one for you folks. Now, as a reminder, the Eternal Champion is basically the first multiversal conflict, and in fact, the word multiverse even comes from Michael Moorcock's works. It's not between good and evil. It's actually really between order and chaos, if you and the Eternal Champion is basically an avatar of an aspect of a character on every plane of existence. So you typically have a nasty sword or weapon. In this case, this is Jerry Cornelius, so he's going to have a weapon, a gun rather than a melee weapon. And then this is also they'll have a love, they'll have a companion, and so forth. And then they'll fight the good fight for the balance. Typically, because law typically respects the balance on most of the planes of existence that you read. And here, typically, it's against chaos. There are some that where law are the ones that have gone off the beaten path. And now we're going to be fighting the good fight on balance and allying with chaos and such. So typically, these are science fictions or fantasies. More fantasies than science fictions. But this one's going to be science fiction. It's a Jerry Cornelius. It's the third Jerry Cornelius story in here for folks. He is a cyberpunk character that was heavily influential, written a long time ago, and put Michael Moorcock on the map. And particularly in the UK, it's this literary writer that kind of went beyond his genre with things like this, or Beyond Byzantium, or Gloriana, or Behold Men, those sorts of things. So those sorts of things sort of put him past that aspect, and Cornelius definitely was too. He was also on the forefront of British New Wave, as the editor of a magazine in the '60s for British stuff, and was sort of created and led and looked for new artists, and so he's definitely a leader in sci-fi voices, and this is definitely one in that genre, if you will. Again, he's a guy who's been nominated for and a finalist for Nebula Awards. Those are the ones that are given by writers, not by fans. So those are more like the Academy Awards rather than fans awards, like the Hugo. So that's good stuff, right? And this is a guy, and I think that this is, of the three Cornelius things, this is probably the best one written, but I just don't like the plot, and I don't think it goes in anywhere interesting and so forth here at the end of time. So that end of time concept comes from the Dense Literature at the end of time. It's a collection of stuff and book too, and concepts and so forth. So that's where this idea of the last short story writer at the end of time. And now that last short story writer is Jerry Cornelius. He's not a nice guy. He doesn't act nicely, right, and so forth. So he's constantly. Right, he's definitely more of an anti-hero than a hero, but he doesn't even act well. He doesn't, right, like even though he's an Eternal Champion aspect. So there you are. I'll go ahead and leave you to it. That is that short story, if you will, by folks. Again, I'm probably just going to be giving this like a 4.5 out of 10. It's not great, although again, it is probably the best written, but it just isn't going to be very interesting or fun or interesting or anything like that. Right. So there you are. I'll go ahead and leave you to it. Have you read this? If so, what did you think about it? Let's talk about the comments below and whether or not you agree with my 4.5 out of 10. If you enjoyed this, why not hit the subscribe button? If you're feeling frisky, hit the bell icon to be notified of my reviews each time. I toast them each time a week. And then also hit the like button and also share it with your friends. And then finally, I just want to pause and take a moment just to thank you so much for taking some time out of your day and investing in watching my video, because we all have so many things in your lives and so many things that happen and to drag our attention, right? So the fact that you spent that time with me, that's incredibly humbling, and I appreciate it. So thanks again, and have an amazing day.